Welcome to the Midium.
Welcome to the Midium. My name is Cam, and I am co-owner of the Midium with my wife, Erin. At our boutique, we showcase our carefully curated collection of synthesizers, drum machines, and electronic musical instruments that mean something more. Today, we will be going over the Kernom RIDGE. Recently, at NAMM, we had the chance to meet up with our friends at Kernom to discuss the history of the company, the functionality of the RIDGE itself, the project's nexus, and then also what's coming up in the near future at Kernom. So, please, stick around and thanks for joining us. All right, so thank you very much for joining us, Antoine.
Thank you for coming.
It's our pleasure, my friend. We are here right now at NAMM 2023. We are the Midium. My name is Cam. Nice to meet you all, or to see you all again. So yes, we are here with Antoine Petroff from Kernom. They have some wonderful new pedals that have come out recently. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of Kernom, why it exists, Antoine's role in the company, and a little bit about their pedals. So firstly, Antoine, thank you again for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So yeah, please tell us a little bit about the origin story of Kernom and what Kernom, the word, means.
So we started about 2 years ago with 3 other friends. With 2 other ones, we worked together for the company De Vialet doing loudspeakers, and I'm working on the audio and music industry for more than 25 years. And so we wanted to start a new company, really to make products for musicians. Of course, every company I think here are doing the same, but really what is important for us is to give an experience, new experience to musicians and be part of the future of the music. That was really, so it's not just doing a pedal, it's really for us to give the future tool for the musicians.
Fantastic.
That's the
fantastic. And so, what does Kernom mean?
Nothing. In fact, no. We wanted first a name that sounds good, and also that is short enough to be how to say, to keep in mind.
Yeah, easy to remember.
It is easy to remember, and that's the website name is free. That's an important thing today.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it sounds good. So that was the idea.
So how did you all come together to work on this project? Because I know it's you, Antoine, there's Charles Richet,
yes,
and who else is involved?
So there is Charles that is responsible for the sales and marketing. There is Jeremy Savonnet that is just there, who is responsible for the R&D and the production and things like that. And there is Nikolaios also here that is responsible for the design. We just had won Red Dot Awards for the design of the pedal.
Hey, fantastic! Congratulations!
So that's it. And in fact, then we worked all together we think of the products and things together. And I'm responsible for the products, so the features for the product and the strategy for the. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you. So tell us about what inspired the beginnings of RIDGE. Why create that pedal?
Okay, so in fact, this was 12 years ago because I had my own company in Switzerland and I wanted to make an overdrive, but that could do many things, but with simple control. And so I started the circuits, analog circuits, but with digital control to do that. But at that time, the product was not well. And so some years ago, we decided to start again with Jeremy this idea. because in fact Jeremy 12 years ago was students and come for 1 month in my company in Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it's a long time story. So 2 years ago we decided to start again this idea. It's really to have a lot of different possibilities in the product, but simple, and that every position of the knobs should sound good. Different, but and so we spend a lot of time to create for us the ideal overdrive. that was the idea.
That's amazing, and I understand that it's a pedal. Since it's an overdrive, a lot of guitarists are going to be using it. What are your thoughts on being able to use it with synthesizers and line level signals?
Of course you can. In fact, I'm not a guitarist. I have recorded a lot of guitarists as a sound engineer, but I'm a synthesizer player. I also have worked for Arturia, a company, for example. And so, of course, we made the Ridge. You can change the input level to line level to be able to handle synthesizer and other electronic instruments. And also it's MIDI controllable, so you can control it with software or other synthesizer with MIDI. So it's
that's a very unique functionality, because in my experience I've been able to record automation into my DAW, just turning the knobs, and then the DAW will play all of that back for me. Like I've been working on a project recently with a Nordlead 3, and I'm using one of the outputs because it's a multi-timbral synth, going straight into the Ridge, and then going through a reverb, and then into my tape machine. And it's a lot of fun to go into my sequencer, automate like the mood knob and the drive knob, and it creates some really cool swells. So it's really fun to use. Yeah, you can create a lot of new kind of sound, and that's exactly I'm really happy to hear that, because we really wanted to do tools that give inspiration and new ideas to musicians. So cool. and tell me, please, why did you choose the name Ridge?
For this one, the idea, because the overdrive, you cut the waveform, like the ridge of a mountain, and that was the idea for this one.
I like that. Yeah. So Antoine, please walk us through the functions of the Ridge and what each knob means, please.
Okay. So the first and most important knobs is the mood one. It's not a usual knob. With this, you can really choose the kind of overdrive and continuously, from a clean boost to any kind of overdrive type, from a tube screamer or king of tone or high gain overdrive, and even like a fuzz overdrive.
Yeah.
So everything in between.
Yeah.
So this is really the Kernom specificity is this knob.
Yeah.
So with only one pedal, it's like having hundreds of different pedals, and you continuously choose this one. And for us, it's important that it's continuous, because it's not just switching usual things. It will be an experience to test, to try, and so it's for us it's a musical way to choose the kind of overdrive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you have more standard drive and volume. That's standard one.
Yeah.
And then you have an EQ section. This one also is specific for the Ridge. It's an EQ before the clipping. So with that, you change the way it will react with the guitar or the instrument before.
Okay.
And so it's all these three are interactive.
Ah, okay. So these three are meant to work together in tandem.
Yes, the idea is you choose the kind of sound you want.
Yeah.
Of course, you choose the amount of drive you want.
Yeah.
And the way it will react to your sound. So here it's more powerful, more reactive, and here it's more smooth.
So this would be like a sensitivity type of knob,
No,
right?
no,
not
no,
really?
It's more here. In fact, here you have more bass, and here less bass.
Ah.
It's like a tilt, but because it's before the clipping, it's not just an EQ. It's really changed the way it reacts.
Gotcha.
And then you have post tone. This is a more standard EQ,
Okay.
and a mid EQ that you can push more mid to have the sound cut in the mix,
Yeah.
or scoop. And this one is a mix before pre and post. But for the musician, all the control are really intuitive. We think so.
Yeah. So this is a band cut and this is band pass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you have, of course, on-off knobs, and you have one internal preset. Because it's a digitally controlled analog, we can have presets. So if I make one settings, I like it, just press 2 seconds. So now it's stored, and I can change the position. And if I want to recall, I just hit. And that's simple. And then with MIDI, because we have MIDI in and out, we can have 128 more presets that is accessible with program change, with MIDI. And with MIDI, you can also control each knob separately with control change. And the last things, we have an expression pedal input, and with just an expression pedal, you can morph between 2 presets. So really the idea is that you have a lot of possibilities, but it's always fun and easy to use. And the sound, most important, the sound should be always really good.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I appreciate the fact that, speaking about MIDI, that you can even set the channel that you want to be on.
Yeah. When you plug the power in, you can choose which MIDI input you are using, MIDI channel. You can choose line level or guitar level input. You have different kind of settings that you can choose.
And is the MIDI input and output your standard MIDI connectors, or are we talking about using adapters?
Because it's in mini jack TRS, you just need an adapter to DIN MIDI. But now it's more and more common to have a mini jack TRS MIDI.
You mentioned that this is the first augmented analog overdrive. What is it? What exactly does that mean?
So the idea is all the clipping circuits is full analog, but we use our own technology to make it variable and changeable. So in fact, inside this Ridge, we have 18 diodes that we control a really specific way. We have a patent on that, and that's the way we could, with only one knob, completely and continuously change the way the overdrive is functioning.
That, to me, as someone who is not very good at mathematics, sounds like that involves a lot of math.
Yes. And also it's more than 20 years of experience on designing electronic for audio circuits.
That's awesome. All right, and did you want to show us anything else?
Maybe I can show you the MOHO.
Absolutely.
So the Ridge is available for some months now, and the MOHO is the new pedal we are showing on the NAMM now. So this is same idea that the Ridge, but with the fuzz circuits. So more weird, more strange sound. So you have again the mood. In this case, you can start with really old kind of fuzz, like broken amp with really strange sound, and then you can have all the 60s kind of fuzz, like fuzz face, tone bender, things like that. And then you are going gradually to more modern thing like the Big Muff. Big Muff is started in the 60s, but but you're like grunge style fuzz, and then going to really sharp, more modern, like almost digital fuzz, and at the end you are going to ring modulation style things.
Nice. Okay.
And then the mood on the MOHO worked in pair with the electricity knob.
Okay.
And with this you can add a second layer of sounds. And so on most mood parts it will add octave down or octave up to the sound.
So this is a tunable fuzz? Well, my voice just cracked. This is a tunable fuzz?
Yeah, of course. You can again. You can really change the kind of fuzz sound you will have, and then pre-tone, post-tone again, and of course the fuzz, the amount of fuzz and the volume output. And again, you have a internal preset, MIDI control, and everything. So it's it's like having again hundreds of fuzz accessible in one pedal.
That's amazing. And okay, so I need to go back to the electricity knob. That's fascinating stuff. So if we're going an octave down here and an octave up here, if we're somewhere in the middle, can we tune it to like a fifth or a seventh?
No, it's not. It's not a completely tunable in this way.
Ah, okay.
It's the amount of octave.
The amount. Yeah. Gotcha. So it's
this one.
It's like a fader in that sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Because again, because it's analog, it's not a full pitch shift things. It's more like you can find a vintage fuzz that has this octave down or up. Jimi Hendrix, for example, had the Octavia fuzz with an octave up.
Yeah.
But here you can, as you can vary the amount, you can really choose how it will react again.
Sure, and now that you mention it, the graphics kind of give it away because, like here in the center, you don't have any of the octave effect, but then as you go this way, this second little curve shows that it's getting louder, and then this third curve here shows that it's like a lot louder.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. What are your thoughts on when this is going to be available to artists everywhere?
So the Ridge is already available, and the MOHO will be available end of July. And we will relaunch it for the September.
Yeah, just about the fall period, more or less. Gotcha. Hey, before we end our conversation, I wanted to ask you about the ethos behind the design, because the design of the actual box, of the actual pedal itself. Why did you choose this kind of a unique? It almost looks kind of futuristic. I've never seen a pedal that looks like this before. Like when I look at it, it almost looks like modern architecture. Yeah. What are your thoughts on why you chose this design in particular? Number one, why this design, and number two, the choice to make all of these controls so firm, like they don't wobble.
Okay.
They look like they feel like they could really. They could be played and they could last a long time. What are your thoughts behind this?
Okay, so the idea is that the product should be a full experience. So the sounds should be, of course, really good, but the design is also important for a musician. If you have something ugly that sounds good, you won't use it.
I must admit, I do think that way.
So we wanted that the design was also specific and unique. We decided to go, as you mentioned, with an architectural approach. In fact, the shape is really unique, and then the serigraphy is simple. So we wanted the design to be 3D.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That was exactly the idea, and then. As you said, we wanted that this pedal will still work in 100 years. We hope.
Absolutely.
Because again, it's not just another pedal. We wanted it to be a part of the future of the music. That was the idea.
Okay, and hey, about the color for the MOHO, why yellow?
Because the fuzz is more, should be more explosive.
Outstanding.
The idea also, the Ridge, we started with an overdrive because overdrive is the most common effect that a guitarist or many musician is using. And then with the MOHO, we wanted to go further in the, you can have really strange sound and extreme sound with that if you want. So that's why this one is white and this one is yellow. Yeah.
Outstanding. So to wrap it up, I have to ask you what I'm sure a few people must be thinking by now is, what's next after this?
We have many things on the how do you say, on the
horizon, huh?
Yes.
All right.
Again, we started with pedals, but we will do other things. So it's just the beginning.
So everyone, this concludes our conversation with Antoine Petroff from Kernom. We've discussed two of the most wonderful pedals we have seen in a very long time. We're proud to have Kernom as part of our collection at the Midium, and we wanted to thank you, Antoine, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hospitality here at your booth. It's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for us.
And yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Mon ami, thank you so much. We're so happy that you guys are doing so well.
Yeah, it's really just the beginning.